there, biology students. This is Russ, your instructor. And today I'm in the Tecopa Range near Death Valley, standing in an area, if you look behind me, with some sedimentary rocks, mostly limestones and shales and sandstones, from right around the earliest part of the Cambrian period, where animal radiation is taking place. And so you find fossils in these rocks that represent the earliest animal explorations in form and function. You find some asymmetrical bits, and you also find the origin of symmetry and heads and hard parts, and the beginnings of things like various organ systems that you can see represented in these rocks. So my question for you, in fact, in the background, if you look, you'll see these sort of reddish beds in the distance and then followed by this dark sort of gray. And the reddish beds are actually more shallow water. And as we come down, in fact, if you look down at where my feet are, you can see some shales. And those shales are even shallower. So oddly enough, from an oceanographic perspective, it's kind of reverse. The shallow water stuff is where I'm standing, shallow, and then it gets deeper, and then this upper gray layer here, which is tipped at an angle, is even deeper water. And so when you go in a fossil bed from shallow water to deeper water, it indicates a transgressive sequence, which means sea level was rising. So that's one interesting thing to note about the climate and the conditions of the planet at the time, is that this is a period when things were warming and sea level was on the rise. And not just a little bit, we're talking, quite a substantial sea level rise. And then the sea level would penetrate back onto the continent. So the shoreline, if you will, would move east from here back onto the North American continent. But once again, this is a very long time ago. So the mystery for you guys is going to be, I'm going to set up some photos of various fossils that I find in these beds, and you're going to try to figure out what the phyla are, maybe the classes if you can do that, try to figure out what sort of organs and organ systems are present, and maybe relate this to your electrophysiology evolution, where you can see at this early time in animal formations, what sort of evidence do you have for certain systems evolving? And maybe that'll give us a clue later on when you try to reconstruct this using the gene sequences for the various genes that participate in the systems. So this is the earliest evidence you'll ever find for this sort of thing, and I'll have a series of questions for you. Anyways, I hope you find this interesting. I'll try to keep posting some, new fossils and clues for you as we go along. But I hope it's cool. It's a very cool place to be. It's certainly, I recommend it to any biology student to come out and actually see the origin of things like entire kingdom of animals. All right, have fun.